Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Speaking with Ajani Bakari Talk Show. I'm your host, Ajani Bakari. I come on my YouTube channel every week to give you guys three hot topics to discuss. Tonight's topics, we're going to go ahead and discuss Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness. We're also going to discuss, um, the responsibility. Do social media content creators have any responsibility in the type of content that they put forth out there on their pages and on their platforms? And also, we're going to discuss the top 10 metro cities that have the highest rent increase in the past year. So, those will be our three topics tonight. Thank you again for joining me. As we always do, a great show for you guys. You can catch me on my Facebook or IG accounts where the show will have the clips there. But thank you for subscribing and following me here on my channel on YouTube, where you can catch the whole show, which will be dropped every Monday night on my YouTube channel. This is the greatest platform to catch my material, and I'm looking forward to continue to give you guys great content, and we'll speak about that shortly. So if you get a chance, go back and look at some past videos and episodes that I have on my channel, and you can see that we discuss good topics here on Speaking with Ajani Bakari Talk Show. So without any further ado, we'll go right on to it and get to our first topic. So for our first topic, we're going to discuss Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. He just recently signed a bill to help out people who have student loan debts. And basically what the plan is that for anyone who has a Pell Grant student loan, they'll get a $20,000 cancellation of their debt. And if you have a non-Pell Grant loan, you'll get a $10,000 cancellation of your debt as far as your student loan go. And these go for people who make $125,000 or less as an income for the year. And as a married couple, it's $250,000 or less for the folks that are qualified to receive this particular debt cancellation. And a lot of people are upset about it. Obviously, on the Republican side and the conservative side, they feel like it's not something that should be done, because they feel like, hey, what about the people who have to pay their debts, the other people that make over $125,000? But we all know, and we talked about this on our show, it is rare in this country that someone actually makes over six figures a year as an income. It's less than 15% of all Americans who make that in general. So they're not really excluding anybody. If we're talking about democracy, right, this is a part of the democracy of the United States, right? The majority wins. Well, if the majority of the people don't make that kind of money, then it should benefit the society. But other than that, the idea of the what the government wants to do and what the Biden administration wants to do is basically they're saying is that, listen, in 1981, a 4-year college cost to go to college for 4 years was roughly, about $8,000 to go to college. If you go to today, it's 25 or 20, about $23,000. I apologize for that. So you're talking about a 300% markup in the amount of cost that it costs, the average cost to go to college, to get 4-year college, to go to a public school. Now, this is not even talking about going to a major school or anything. This is just going to a regular public college. The average cost was $8,000 in 1981. In 2022, it's 23, almost $24,000 for the same course. So that's a 300% markup. And when it comes to Pell Grants, what was available back in 1981 was about $6,500. And today it's roughly just a little bit under $7,000. So the increase for the Pell Grant, or the amount of help that you can get from the government to help you pay for your student loans or to pay for your courses, didn't go up at all, especially comparing to the amount that the cost of it is. So, a Pell Grant is basically a federal subsidy, all right, that helps you pay off student loans. And people who qualify for that really are the people who don't make that much money. A Pell Grant, 90% of the people who get Pell Grants basically don't make $60,000 or more a year. Okay, so that off the top lets you know that this is for for people who are in the middle class, people who are in the lower class of income and lower income rankings. And then for the people that are going to be helped, who are going to get the help, 87% of these people make less than $75,000. So a lot of the people who are getting help for this are the people who don't really make a good income, and although they have some kind of college debt or some kind of student loan debt. So all of that is a part of why the government is doing this, because again, there's a lot of people who have debt, especially in the black community. The black community, the average debt for a college graduate is basically $25,000 or more. Okay, and if we go to bachelor's degrees, it's basically $52,000. The average debt for a black person is $52,000, and this is where black folks are upset at, because they're like, well, what is $20,000 or $10,000 supposed to do for us? The average debt for a white person who has a student loan is nowhere near $50,000 or $25,000. So how do you get this? How do you get to this point to where now you have people arguing whether this should be something that they should be doing or not doing? But the United States government, is what it is what it is. But they're trying to help out. But if we really look at the whole demographic, and we look at the statistics, the average, black person who has a college degree is in serious debt. Okay, over 50% of the people who have a college degree and have student loan debts claim that they make less than what they actually owe in student loans. So the average student loan debt is $50,000 for a bachelor degree for a black person, and the average debt for a white person is about $25,000-$30,000 under the same criteria. So you're talking about a big, large gap difference. So if you give that white person a $20,000 cancellation, and you only give the black person that, they're still in a bind. It doesn't change anything. African Americans are really again, we always get the bottom of the totem pole, even though people think this is something that's going to help African Americans more than anybody. It really is going to help white people, because when it comes to like Asians actually pay off their student loan debts more than anybody do. They're least likely to even have a high student loan debt in general. So Asians don't have that problem. Hispanics rarely get federal loans. So the most federal student loans go to African Americans. A lot of Hispanics and whites get private school loans to help fund their student loans. But again, these are the things that the Biden administration wanted to apply. These are the things that the Biden administration said they were going to do during their campaign and running for the election. So now we have this in play, but does it really help anybody? I know people that have, like I said, $40,000-$30,000, $50,000 in debt. I know people that are $80,000 in debt when it comes to student loans, and they have to pay that off. And if you think about it, they say that 29% of college graduates that are African American pay $350 a month or more in student loan debt and paying back their debt. So these are things that are killing people, especially during inflation. They say that 43% of African Americans who have student loan debts put off buying a house because of student loan debts and things of that nature. So is this really going to help Black America? I don't know. But it definitely does help some people, right? Because $20,000, if you owe 40, you're knocking 50%, it does help you. These are the things that, but these are the things that the conservatives don't like. This is what they were talking about with socialism and helping other people. And this is how white supremacy works too, because this is actually helping white people more than it's helping Black people. But the fact that it's helping Black people, these conservatives and these right wings are upset. They don't care if it's really helping white people. They don't want to see Black people get any advantage in this society by the government. They really don't want to see that at all. And it's funny because 54% of all student loans go to white people. So a majority of student loans are given to white people. I mean, obviously they're the largest population in the country. So they will obviously always be the number one in most categories when we talk about stuff like this. But this is what Joe Biden is doing, and this is what's going to happen. And for Black folk, like I tell you guys, it's not that simple. We have really put our foot forward and done the right things, but the society's not made for us, because for over 50% of Black college grads to have a debt higher than what they actually make, it shows that either one, we were pushed into certain courses and certain fields that would never generate any real money for us. It shows how much, again, every time we talk about these numbers financially, we are always at the bottom of the totem pole, and it doesn't make sense. And it's not like we're not putting in effort. It's not like we're not trying. African Americans are putting in so much effort and doing so many things to try to get their lives organized and to break the generational curse and to break the racial tension that existed in America, and that's caused all of these problems. All of this we know starts from all the racism and everything that existed, from the Jim Crow laws to slavery and all the things that happened in the decades and the generations before us. So, right now, Joe Biden's plan seems to help some people, and it seems to not help other people, but it still doesn't do too much. Like I tell people, Joe Biden, um if you really want to help black folks, let's talk about reparations. Let's talk about that. That would be the beginning part, because as you can see, this is not going to help too many black folk. If the average African American debt is $50,000, $20,000 is not helping them. A $30,000 debt is really still a ass kicker. You know what I mean? But another thing that they were saying was also that over 40 million Americans will be eligible to have their payments cut in half, right? So you won't have to pay as much as you do every month to pay back your debt, but you still have to pay it back. That means it's just going to take you longer to pay it off. You're still going to be in that debt, and it's not going to change. With the way the economy is going, who knows what's going to happen? But, you know, Joe Biden said what he was going to do, and he did it. Y'all, this is the first one that he did for y'all. He did it. He said he was going to do the student loan forgiveness. He was going to help y'all out. Now y'all are helped out. So, if you guys got any, anything on this, go ahead, leave the comments, and let me know. But this is definitely something that Joe Biden feels proud about. He's patting himself on the back. He's has a bad approval as a president right now, and this is something that's going to help him out. At least for now, somebody can say, well, look, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. So that's the crux of everything. So if you have a student loan and you have a large debt, I suggest you find ways to help you, obviously get the 20,000 cancellation. All this should kick in by 2023, and then try to work it out with the debt collector that you owe the money to, and explain to them how much you owe. A lot of this is also going to be predicated on your income. So, like I said, most of us don't make a lot of money, so you're gonna get a lot of advantages due to that. So take advantage as you can, and hopefully you're in the field that you got your degree in or you went to school for. If not, hey, that's life, man. Just kick buckets and just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll get ready to move on to our next topic. Next topic is is there any responsibility for social media content creators in the content that they create? So let's get to that. So for our second topic, this topic is being a responsible social media content creator. And the reason I bring this up is because obviously, I explained to you guys that doing this is not easy. It is very difficult to come up with different content on a day-to-day basis, on a different, on every week. I do this once a week. So I can only imagine the individuals who are trying to create new content on a everyday basis. It's really not easy. But I take pride in what I do here and what I bring as far as the content to you guys, and what I do with this actual show or podcast, or just with my social media page. But what I've come across recently is two separate instances recently that really had me thinking about social media and the responsibility a social media content creator has. Because recently a gentleman made a video about him going to McDonald's, and he had the monkeypox, and it went viral. And that video went viral because people were upset, because it was like, wait a minute, bro, if you got the monkeypox, especially the way he had it and the way he was displaying it, he literally did a whole video with him drinking, and he went to a drive-through fast food place, and he basically explained how he would, that no one would help him, no one would look out for him. He was on his own, and he was hungry, and he wanted to go get something to eat, and people were going in on him, and it lasted a while. He let it last for a while, and now he's come out and stated, thanks to Hollywood Unlocked for this, that it was all a hoax. It was not even a hoax. It was all a marketing tool, all a ploy, a marketing ploy of some sort for a song that he wrote, or a song that he was trying to promote. I mean, for real, bro, like, this is what you're doing with your content. I mean, first of all, if your music is not good enough to where you have to do this to promote it, I mean, maybe you should rethink your music career. But for some reason, this kid thought that he can take monkeypox, which, obviously after what we've been through for the last 2 years, right? You're gonna bring up something as serious as monkeypox, something that that is, as you know, it's vague. We don't know what the hell is going on with monkeypox, because the last 2 years, the information that has been coming out about serious illnesses have been misleading. So now people are going to be afraid. People are going to obviously react to this. And you knew that. And this is why you did it. I mean, he literally showed video of him putting on the little bumps all over his body and everything. And it's like, well, wait a minute, bro. You did all of this, and now you're mad that people didn't take your marketing plan the way you wanted it to be, that they literally got angry with you, so that you had to take down your stuff. Why didn't you just promote your song? Why didn't you just create a good video? Why didn't you go to the gym so that you could be sexy, so somebody could like you enough to listen to your music, bro? Even if it wasn't good or not, at least there would be something appealing. I mean, even I'm told that I have to be appealing in my looks to do my show. So how do I mean, and then this goes back to the one that we talked about the last time, where the girl was upset about the her her children's father bringing food for only one baby and not the other ones, and that was also a marketing plan and a tool that a company paid for it to happen. So where is the responsibility for social media content creators? We talk about, relationship gurus, right? It's the same nonsense. You guys are repeating the same stuff every day. I mean, I can literally do a show about that every day. I'm married. I can talk about single people and how worthless they are and how weak they are, because that's one of my favorite things. Marriage is not for the weak, and too many of y'all are too weak to be married, let alone finding someone to want to marry you. But I can't spend every week talking to y'all like this. I mean, there's got to be some sense of responsibility, some sense of obligation, some sense of understanding that what you're bringing forth has to be productive. It has to be something of good material. No wonder why there's producers and executive producers for shows that make sure people are not doing and saying stuff. And there's people that are literally behind the scenes making sure every detail of what you see on the television program is exactly how they want it to be. They go through meetings and shows. They go through meetings and rehearsals for the shows. But we have this thing now where you could create anything you want on social media. You could become popular for any little silly thing. And you have to be responsible with the material that you put out there, with the content you put out there. At least that's what I try to do with my material. Now, on my Facebook, I post whatever. But if I create something, I'm going to create something responsibly. I'm going to create something that's going to actually have some validity, which is another thing why, like for me doing my show, I really take my time to study some of this stuff. A lot of the times I don't know most of the things that I'm going to be talking about particularly, but I know where to find it. I know that I must bring you the right information. I can't just be bringing you loose information because I think it's going to attract more clicks and more likes and more views. So, I believe that, if you're going to be somebody who is a social media content creator, whether you're on TikTok, on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're doing it at, you have to be responsible in the information you provide. You can't be, misleading and disingenuous on purpose. You can't be using controversial issues just to talk about it and just to say stuff, just to say stuff. You have to have some sort of, again, some sort of integrity, some sort of obligation, and a conscience, bro. You just gotta have a conscience. You have to be a person of good values and morals. What is the purpose of? Again, I don't understand why the young man did this. I really don't get it. It would, in fact, you were just promoting the fast food restaurant more than anything, because that's what people are gonna think. I can't even go there anymore, and people went in on him, and rightfully so, because it was a dumb idea. If that was your plan, it was a dumb idea. Even if you did it, if you really had the monkeypox and you went out there and you went to get food on your own, but it was even a dumber idea that you did it for a marketing tool, or to promote your single. Your music career, bro. It ain't gonna go nowhere. It ain't gonna go nowhere. And he tried to have the nerve to say that his followers understand. Of course, your followers understand you. You probably block people that disagree with you, just like most people on social media. And this is why social media is dangerous, because people take social media like a high school cafeteria lunch table. If you don't think and act and respond the way they want you to respond, you're blocked, and everybody else outside of that lunchroom table isn't as cool as the people at this lunchroom table. So, you got to do a better job, bro. Do a better job. And I take responsibility to come with content. So, like I tell you guys, you can tell me what you would like to speak about, but I'm going to speak about it in a responsible way, in a constructive way, in a productive way. And of course, I don't mind being entertaining, because as a people, we are very vibrant. We have rhythm, so we have to provide information. plus inspiration, like Dr. Khaled would say. All right. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to be entertaining, you got to be fun, and you got to be at least productive in some way, bro. Please, man. So anybody who's making any kind of social media content, be responsible for the things that you say. Don't say stuff out of the blue and try to make some scientifical analysis that you didn't even research on any kind of anything at all. You know what I'm saying? And then be prepared for people that's going to respond, because people will respond. You have to be, willing to accept the criticism of people, which, I've learned in my life that's what you have to do. So, again, you have to be a responsible content creator. You can't be out here just saying anything loosely, talking loosely like this brother did. So, that'll end that conversation right there, and we'll move on to our last topic. All right, so we're now down to our final topic of the evening, and basically, this topic is actually a good one. This is the top 10 metro cities that have the highest rent increases in America in the past year, since 2021. So, we know we're in inflation, right? We know a lot of things have gone up. The price of everything has gone up. I live in South Florida, Miami metro area, Dade County, Broward County, and West Palm Beach counties. And the funny thing is that all three counties are in the top 10 when it comes to this, when it comes to 1-bedroom apartments or even 2-bedroom apartments. So the top 10 cities in America where the rent increase went the highest for 1-bedroom apartments, the first city is Portland. Portland is at 40% higher than it was last year. So if you were spending whatever you was last year for the 1-bedroom apartment, it is actually 40% higher this year. Austin, Texas comes in second at 38%. New York City comes in at third at 35%. We already know New York is ridiculous. Some prices in New York I've heard is, ridiculous. Then you have New Brunswick, New Jersey, also at 35%. You have Newark, New Jersey at 34%. And then you have Nassau County, New York, which is just outside of New York, the city, which is also at 34%. And then this is where you get to Miami. You basically have Fort Lauderdale at 33%. Okay, then you have Miami at 33%. You have West Palm Beach at 33%. And then you have Orlando, Florida at 30%. Those are the top 10 cities that have the highest increase in rent for 1-bedroom apartments, according to rent.com. Okay, and realtor.com. And as far as South Florida goes, all right, the Miami metro area, which include all three counties, West Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade, the average rent is $2,800 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in South Florida. That is ridiculous, bro. I don't know who is living and can afford it. That's more than my mortgage for my house. But the thing is that they're saying that what it should be, from what the rate should be, it should be actually $2,300 a month. So it's a 500% more than what it actually should be. So it's crazy bad in Miami. It's crazy bad in South Florida, but it's across the board, because if we go to 2-bedroom apartments, right, that are up for rental, Miami's number one, 55% increase from last year. That is crazy. So that means, wow. So that means if you were spending, $2,000 a month last year for your apartment, you're spending $3,000 this year for that same apartment. And the median rent income from Miami is $2,900 a month for somebody to rent an apartment here. That is ridiculous. We were just talking about the student loan debt. Can you imagine having the type of debt that you have, and then you have to worry about paying, these type of rents? Orlando came in second for 2-bedroom apartments. They went up as high as 35%. Tampa went up 32%. All you northerners moving down here, fucking shit up for us. We don't need y'all down here with this bullshit. Y'all are making it incredibly hard to live in fucking Florida. Jesus Christ. Then you got Austin, Texas is fourth at 28. San Diego is at 25% at number 5. Las Vegas is also at 25%. Phoenix is at 25%. Jacksonville, 25%. Another Florida city. The increases for rent is going up. San Antonio, that's in Texas. And then Memphis rounds off the list at number 10 at 23% for 2-bedroom apartments. Now, this is going off of realtor.com. This is the increase of rent for folks in these major cities. There were only 2 cities that actually had a decrease in the past year, and that was Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Kansas City, Missouri, I believe, because there's two Kansas Cities. I believe there's a Kansas City in Kansas and there's a Kansas City in Missouri. One of them have a lower increase in rent. I mean, a lower rent rate than they did last year. Oh man, it's looking bad, bro. It's looking bad. The last 3 years, man, we've been through a lot as a people in this country, and just in general, this is a weird time to live in. So I don't know how much you spend on your rent, and I've had family members say they're going to move from the apartments that they're at now because the rent increase, the new lease, has gone up so high that they just can't afford, to live there. I've seen memes do the same thing where people are like, you renovated the office, so now I'm hanging out in the office more. You renovated the gym, I'm in the gym more. I have family members where they literally renovated the apartment complex. They repainted things of that nature, and now they increased the rent. And some people can't afford it, some people can. I don't know too many people that could afford rent on their own. I don't know anybody who could afford $2,000 a month. Again, I don't know nobody that do that. Again, most of us make less than $50,000 a year. Over 80% of us don't make enough money to afford that. So it looks like a lot of people are roommates. A lot of people are living with their families. Um, I don't know how some of y'all are doing it. I really don't know. But it's definitely not looking good. They say the housing market is only going to continue to be a problem because of stuff like this. Because if people can't afford to buy houses, which right now people can't afford to buy houses, they have to rent, and that's only going to make renting even more expensive because of the demands. So it's only going to continue to go up. I don't know what you would have to do. I'm so blessed that I was able to buy my house several years ago because I couldn't imagine what I would have to go through right now. I know people that are looking for a place to stay, and I tell them, yo, go to the hood, go to the hood. That's what you could afford. I recently posted something on my Facebook where a guy talked about one of the financial rules is that you should have, I think he was saying it was a 50-30-20 thing. You should 50% of your income should go towards your living expenses. 30% should go towards, having fun, just, your regular, life entertainment. And then 20% of your income should go towards savings and investing. Well, how are you going to have, your income as far as your finances under 50% as far as your living expenses if you're paying $3,000 a month just to have an apartment? That doesn't count the having the light, the water, the cable, the internet, and all the other extra stuff, the food, the gas. That is just ridiculous, man. I think that, for a lot of people, they're gonna have to, a lot of people gonna have to just, swallow their pride, man. And I guess that's why I see a lot of people living with family members. I see living with cousins, living with, with aunties and uncles, everybody in the same house, living with mommy, living with daddy. Because I just don't see how people afford, again, you don't make enough money. If you're not pulling in $2,000 a month as a net income, then how are you going to pay for that type of apartment? How can you survive in this type of economy? Even car prices, the average car price is as high as it's ever been in American history. It's over $40,000 for the average car price. So everything has gone up, bro. Welcome to Joe Biden's America. But again, as y'all can see, man, it's never going to get easy for y'all. But again, I tell y'all, find a resolution, find your peace, find your home, find a place that you can make it best for yourself. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me. This is Speaking with Ajani Bakari Talk Show. I'm your host, Ajani Bakari. I'll be back next week with another 3 topics. See y'all then. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay beautiful. Stay black and stay proud.